When Ford launched the S-Max almost 10 years ago, it ripped up the rulebook when it came to family MPVs. Instead of being a drab to drive, drab to look at load lugger, the S-Max was more stylish than its competition and promised to be more engaging behind the wheel while still being able to carry 7 people in relative comfort. This latest model carries on where the old one left off. It still looks smart alongside its rivals, and while the changes aren't drastic, it's still got a very grown-up look to it. The slim headlamps and trapezoidal grille have been seen elsewhere in the Ford lineup, and the rear has been slightly tapered for effect. This one, the Titanium Sport, comes with a few extras like 18-inch alloy wheels, full body styling kit and rear spoiler. What made the S-Max so popular though was its clever 7-seat configuration that would transform it from a people carrier to a load lugger at the drop of a hat. One neat party trick is the easy fold and easy entry system, which electrically folds down the rearmost seats. It may not be the most spacious 7-seater in Ford's arsenal, that's reserved for the Galaxy, but there's still plenty of room for 7 people to sit in comfort, and there's a bigger boot now too. All the seats in place, it offers 285 litres of boot space. This expands to 965 with the third row folded down, and a van-like 2,200 litres with all the seats lowered. Getting in the back of the car is a relatively simple operation despite not having sliding rear doors, and those rearmost seats are only really suitable for small adults or children. Up front, the dash layout is extremely modern and straightforward to use. An 8-inch multimedia touchscreen system is standard and is a vast improvement on Ford systems of old. It controls the sat-nav, DAB radio, MP3 connectivity and general car settings, and is pretty straightforward to use. For an extra 450 quid, you can upgrade to this Sony system, which comes with an improved sat-nav, more powerful amp and extra speakers. The seats are comfortable and supportive and fully adjustable too, as is the steering wheel, which means it's easy to get the perfect driving position. There's no shortage of storage bins either. So on to the business of how it drives, and this is without doubt one of the biggest selling points of the S-Max. Whereas most MPVs tend to be a little bit dull and drab behind the wheel, the S-Max is definitely more engaging. In fact, at times it's easy to think you're driving something smaller like a Focus. The lower centre of gravity makes it more stable in the corners, and the steering is sharp and responsive. There's also an all-wheel drive version which improves grip, but in reality it's not necessary unless of course you use it for towing. There's a mix of petrol and diesel engines available, but the pick of the range is the 148 brake horsepower 2-litre TDCi. It returns around 56 miles per gallon and emits just 129 grams per kilometre of CO2. If petrol is your powertrain of choice, then there's a 1.5 litre turbocharged EcoBoost or a 237 brake horsepower 2 litre. But don't be fooled into thinking this is a hot MPV. 0 to 60 takes around 8.5 seconds. This one is the more powerful 178 brake horsepower 2 litre diesel with 4-wheel drive and automatic gearbox, and it'll average 48.7 miles per gallon. One of the biggest changes though is the platform. The S-Max now shares the same platform as the latest generation Mondeo, which, according to Ford, means there's a marked improvement on refinement, sportiness and ride quality. Over 400,000 S-Maxes have been sold, so Ford is clearly doing something right, and the latest model builds on what's already an excellent package. Its clever seating, excellent drive, premium looks and practicality will continue to make it a popular choice. The only downside is that it can be quite expensive, especially when you start adding optional extras, so tick carefully.